Do it for you. Baby, the floor is yours. Yeah, baby, I mean the floor is yours. If it come down to the floor is yours, let me show you how I prove the floor is yours. The floor is yours.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another E&M podcast. I know we've been away for a minute, but we back with some valuable information we want to share with you guys tonight. So, make sure you tune in and get your pen and pad ready because we finna go on this credit journey tonight. And I want to introduce my cast here. I'm gonna start with my lady. I gotta always start with the ladies. Hey, we got the credit goddess in the house, Miss Ashley. There she go, Miss Fabulous. Then we got my boy G, Flexed, all world. I'm gonna start calling him out. There you go, all world. But yeah, man, we got a special guest back with us. The lone lioness. Let me correct that.
Lioness.
Yes. So we gonna dive right into this credit thing because we just been having some real deep talks these past couple of weeks, and we just feel like we want to share this information with you guys out there. So I'm gonna pass to Ashley and let her go ahead and kick this thing off.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I just want to first start by saying don't forget to like, share, invite, and subscribe to us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Also, send people who don't have Facebook over to our YouTube page so that we can continue the conversation, so we can continue growing our audience. I definitely want to also give a special thanks to our followers for tuning in. Thank you guys. And next, I want to thank the beautiful Lone Lioness for joining us back again today. And I'm going to hand the mic over to her so she can introduce herself.
All right. Hello there, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, all of those platforms. My name is Rhonda Hutchison, and they're right. I am the Lone Lioness, and I'm a residential mortgage lender with Paramount Residential Mortgage Group. Listen, do everything lending. And I am so excited and very passionate about being here on today to share my credit expertise because the credit expertise is on the other side, but share my expertise in how credit affects mortgage lending. So excited, and thank you guys for having me as your special guest again.
Man, I was meeting my bad,
always.
Man. Yeah.
I'm waiting for you, Flex. Hey, come on now.
Hey, y'all remember that movie Friday with Daddy? Was like, man, I mess up all the time.
Yeah.
I mess up all the time. Hey, but this is a much needed discussion, and I think we're gonna have fun with it. In my honest opinion, we're gonna dissect the credit report, and we're gonna go line by line and show people some of the things to look at. But more important than understanding your credit, in my mind, is that we address the mindset, right? And the thing is, you can go and put the work in to get your credit score up, but if you go back to bad spending habits, you're gonna be right back in the same place. So that's what I want to start off is in addressing the mindset. One of my good friends, Josh, I've learned so much from him, and one of the things that he says is that you can't earn your way into wealth. He said you behave your way into wealth. And that's the thing, man. And that comes with money management, making smart decisions, actually talk about, the mindset of building a legacy, things like that. So that's why I want to start the conversation about the mindset, and we'll let the long line start that. And I know that's not necessarily dealing with credit, but what can you what would you say about people's mindset when it comes to managing money and making sure that we're doing the right thing?
Shucks, can we? And as at first, I want to just give, see if I have your permission just to be real today. Can I have your permission?
Absolutely. We don't have no other way.
No other way. That's why we're here tonight, because we've been discussing this for 2 weeks. So let's blast it.
Yeah, and it's Flex is so important, and I know Ashley can vouch for this. It's so important to have a solid credit foundation, pretty much for anything you do, but especially when you're trying to build generational wealth through purchasing a home or an investment property or anything of that nature. Just making sure that you have that foundation, because that foundation can write you a ticket in a good way, a ticket you have to pay, a ticket to get out of jail free, one or the other, but it can write you a ticket. So we want to just make sure that you do have a healthy foundation, a healthy credit, and not just wait until you start are thinking about moving forward with a process. Like you said, even an investment property or moving into your new home, start before then to make sure your credit is right and your credit is tight. Because I'm gonna tell you, it determines a lot of things. Your interest rate, it determines what kind of programs you can qualify for. If there's any kind of special programs like down payment assistance or first-time home buyers, all of that is determined by your credit scores. Of course, your interest rate as well. So yes, it's important.
Yes, good. And Ashley, I know you talk to your clients a lot about their spending habits. Do you want to touch on that for a moment?
Absolutely. So I keep it real with my clients. A client can come to be ready to really pay some good big money, but at the end of the day, I kind of don't even want them as a client because they'll be coming back to me. And it's like, I want them to move on to the other process. I want to see people level up. But if you are not truly ready, it's pointless. And when I say truly ready, it means, like you said, mindset. It's a mindset thing. So you say I'm ready to buy that home, but you also want the new Corvette. You also want the new Benz. What's the priority for you?
Yeah.
You know, what's your priority? What's your mindset? Which one is most important? You know, so again, it's mindset until you renew your mind, and it's deep. So sometimes people have traumas, money traumas from when they were a child, the things that was taught to them or were not taught to them as a child. Even when it comes to money, hey, here's a good one. Here's a real good one. You can't die with it. You can't take it with you when you die, so you might as well spend it.
Man, you've been listening to me. You've been listening to me.
So are you really ready to buy a home with that type of mindset? But Big Mama said it, Mama said it, it got passed down to you. You still have that same mindset. So are you really ready to buy a home if you haven't addressed that and done away with those thoughts? And it goes a lot deeper. People have to really renew their mind when they're ready to be an adult.
Yeah,
that's good.
When I say I'm be responsible, ready to really make some lifestyle changes. So yes.
Yeah, and T. Will, man, you've had this discussion a lot, man. We say we don't want to live poor but die rich. So to actually point, there has to be a happy median or a balance on how to enjoy the fruit of your labor, but at the same time being responsible, managing your finances, especially if you're leading a family. So we'll let you speak on that.
Man, I just, because to be honest, most of the people I know or I was brought up around, we didn't grow up knowing about credit, or we didn't know about finances or things of that nature. You know what I mean? So when I came into this space and I kind of learned a lot about it, some of it was by accident. It was just so important for me to just like reach out to people. Like, and I know that everybody ain't gonna receive this, and that's to be expected. But to be responsible with your credit can do a lot for you if you just, if you just remain disciplined and committed to your credit. Man, you can leverage your credit and do some major things. When I say major, I'm talking about like you can walk up in anywhere if your credit is where it's supposed to be, because your credit is basically a resume of how you pay your bills, and when you're on time for paying your bills, and your spending habits as well. So you have to make sure all of it, you have a balance with that, because it affects your whole livelihood. I'm talking about your whole life, because one late payment could stop you from getting a car loan, or a personal loan, a home loan. So you just want to make sure you're responsible in this space with credit, because man, it's serious, but man, it could be very beneficial to you if you do it right.
Yeah, that's good. So man, I just want to jump right into the heart of the discussion here, and that scary thing that we call a credit report. So
Ooh.
yeah. So I have a mock credit report, and we're just going to go through it and kind of talk to the people about how they should be looking at their credit report. Because the thing is, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong about this, I think you need to be in the know as much as possible when you go and see a loan specialist, a realtor, or a credit restoration specialist. At least somewhat know. I'll tell you from experience, when I first did it, I was like, man, I know my thing was jacked up. I don't even want to see it. I was just like, bro, here go my credit report, and $800 to get started.
You were like this.
Yeah. And it worked, but it was expensive. And now what I know now, and I was like, man, I shouldn't have did it that way. But
That's
hey, he helped me out, but it was expensive. But here we go with the credit report, and then we'll just let the credit specialist Ashley Chalk start off and lead the discussion on this. And so here we go first. We'll just start off. Ashley, what's the first thing you do when somebody comes see you with their credit report?
Well, I definitely pull it up and look at it with them. Okay, so this is Experian. But I first I want to see what it is. So I first started looking for the derogatories when they say they need to fix their credit. So I started looking for derogatories, or even looking for like names and different things like that that's extra on there. That also plays a major role in your credit as well, because sometimes you can be paying for somebody else's mess that y'all did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's a big part of it, is the personal information. So on this one right here, we see different names. So does that play a part in your credit rating or your credit score?
Yes. Even if it could potentially be something small, but again, and I'll be honest, that's something I actually learned, that you could, and it does make a lot of sense, that you could be, somebody else's credit is on your credit just by the name. You have John Consumer, then you have Jonathan Consumer. There's a Jonathan Consumer out there. There's a J Consumer out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Their information is on your credit now.
Right. And then just like Ashley stated, is that your credit profile or your credit information is actually not pulled by your social security number, but your actual name and addresses. So if you also live in an apartment or somewhere that has the same address that you had maybe prior, and you can also pull some of their information just based on your name and your address. So Ashley is completely right. It's just being careful about that, making sure you do look at your credit report to make sure you're not taking on somebody else's debt.
Yeah, that's a good point. So from actually when you come in and giving advice or counseling, how easy is it to correct these name discrepancies?
This is actually an easy fix. It's as easy as you giving them a phone call and letting them know. Sometimes, however, depending on which bureau it is or who you get on the phone, I mean, it's a call center. So depending on who you get on the phone, they may ask for documentation. So if you say you're not J Consumer, okay, I want to see documentation. Because as you can see on this particular one, there's 3 different names. So you're saying you're not J Consumer. At this point, they may say, okay, I need documentation. But that is still very simple. Do a copy, send it in. Easy fix. And they'll get it removed for you.
Yeah. And long line is from your standpoint, your expertise and experience, how much of a role does the different names play in the approval process?
Oh, it's very high. It's high there on the list, because one of the things is once you're getting ready to go to underwriting and there are variations in your name, you have to provide a LOE, which we call a letter of explanation, providing why this is not my name. I don't know, Jonathan Consumer. I don't go by Jonathan. I'm John. I don't know a Jonathan. So you have to provide an explanation of any name variation on your credit report. So it's very important to get that all straightened out.
Okay. And T. Will, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, man. I would like to add to if you clean just a little quick tip right here. If you see all these erroneous names right there, so if you have these on your credit report and you call in to say one of the bureaus, just say for Experian, like you call in, they would remove these in 24 hours. They have to because it's erroneous on your credit report. So you can call in, and if y'all, like I said, if y'all got y'all brought your pens and pads tonight, I'm gonna give y'all the number where y'all can call in and get this done. And I guarantee you, if you get the wrong person on the phone, just call right back because it all depends on who you talk to. Some people will try to get you to run around there at the credit bureau, but you can call them right back, get the right person on the phone and say, hey, look, John, my name is John Consumer, not Jonathan Consumer. They have to remove that because that's an erroneous error on your credit report that they have to remove. J Consumer, I don't want that associated with my report. I've had people to do this and their score overnight in 24 hours. Once they remove this, they points might go up anywhere from 1 to 5 points just by clearing this type of stuff up.
Right.
Wow, that's huge. And then again, It's not just the points; it's just the different information too that can throw up red flags too.
Like red flags.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely.
Yeah.
Especially when there's a junior and a senior. Yeah, please make sure that because you may be taking on dad's old debt, or son's debt. So be very careful when you have senior or a second and a third junior and senior on those kind of things.
So what about these little dispute buttons over there? So how does these work out, Ashley? When you pull up a credit report through Experian or whatnot?
I don't particularly use them.
You don't? Okay, so that's an option. It's not something that you have to.
It is an option, and that is something that one can do. It's not one that I use.
So what's your preference? You just do letters yourself?
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
I have to say though, I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
And even though that's like Ashley say, that is the best way to do it, the way she does it, send in the letters, because now you have proof that you sent it in, with when you send in when you mail in the letters and stuff like that. But if you go in here and dispute it, they might take a little bit longer, but it works. But the best way to do it is you want a trail when you do it. So the best way to do it is by letter.
Got you. Okay. So we'll move down to kind of the same information about the addresses. So how
can I make one point about disputes when it comes to mortgage lending?
Sure.
It's that when you're having putting anything in dispute, but if you're looking to move forward and purchasing a home, all disputes will have to be removed from your credit report. So if it's not resolved, you need to resolve it and then have them to remove the verbiage that says in dispute or it was in dispute, now a resolution. As long as it has that verbiage of dispute on the comments, that needs to be removed.
Got you. Okay. Good deal. So we'll go down again in the addresses. I know if I moved say 5 times over the past 10 years, is there a requirement that they be on there, or can I remove the addresses that are no longer relevant to where I live now?
Most definitely you can. I go Ashley, I know you're pretty good with this one too, but that's another thing that'll help increase your score as well. The only thing about if you have like a dispute or something like this, and I know Ashley can vouch for this, if it's something related to that file or something like that you're disputing, then they won't remove that address because it's related to that dispute. So you have to make sure that it's nothing tied. It's like something matching up like your social or something. You know what I'm saying? If something is tied to it, then they won't remove it right away. But if it's nothing tied to it, man, they'll remove it in 24 hours. It's the same way as removing, correcting your name and stuff like that. It's the same thing.
Because too many addresses, is that a negative hit on your credit report?
Not really a negative hit. I mean, showing that you done lived at all these places, I think anywhere, even with jobs or anything, just doesn't look good. But then also when you're going through the dispute process, just like he said, sometimes it's better to remove the addresses first. Like go in, name, addresses. And that's a tactic that a lot of credit repair people do take, is to remove the names and erroneous names and addresses first, and then go and dispute the accounts next, because now there's no attachment at all now.
Okay, so it's not multiple addresses; it's erroneous addresses. Okay.
No, multiple too. I don't live there no more.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're cleaning it up.
I mean, you just want me to keep it real. Like, I don't. It's irrelevant now. I mean, how long is okay? When you fill out a job application, it asks about the last 2 years. Have you lived at this address for the past 2 years? Almost on everything you do. So I feel like, me personally, if it's over 2 years, it's irrelevant at this point.
And for your clients, you're gonna try to get it removed.
Absolutely, I'm their lawyer. I'm their credit lawyer.
Is that different, loan liners in the mortgage space?
Well, it doesn't really make a lot of effect. It's just explanations that we look for when there are various addresses. And if you've never lived at a particular address, just simply put your explanation as never lived at this particular address. So that's pretty much it. It's just explaining what the address is.
Yeah. And that's what Tiffany's saying. It does increase your credit score. Increase your credit score.
Yep.
Yeah. Good deal. So let's move on down here a little bit. So we're in the Social Security. You got one
more thing before we move on. G, you know about this because you've had clearances. A lot of times that when you have those security clearances in the military, you can't remove those. You don't want to. I ain't gonna say you can't, but you don't want to remove them because they go back and look at your credit report when they do your clearance.
Okay.
When people have those clearances and they're doing that, you don't want to remove those because now when they go back and do your clearance and they're looking at your because they pull your credit report to make sure you've been at that address. So you have to be careful with that when you have like a security clearance and stuff like that. So just be cognizant of that.
Yeah. And realistically, how many points can you expect to see your credit score jump from removing multiple or erroneous addresses and names?
I think Ashley said 2 to 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About 2 to 4 points. Okay, so not a huge jump, but if you're right there on the edge, that can make the difference.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So how in the world can you have multiple social security numbers? I ain't understanding that one.
Yeah,
you can. you can. You just like you have erroneous information, like your wrong names and stuff like that. The same way. People tie people names and socials to different things. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they might have did it erroneously, and then they might have did it fraudly. You never know, but it can happen.
Yeah. Okay. And this dreaded thing right here, the spouses. So how much does the spouse's information play on your credit report?
I have,
this is joint. Yeah. I just look at it when you do joint application, but other than that,
yeah.
That I haven't. You know what? I haven't even. I've looked on my credit report and I ain't ever seen a joint with my wife on there.
Really?
And that's kind of maybe I don't know what happened here, but maybe they caught it some kind of way and just added it to there. And that's why I'm saying different entities will add certain things to your credit report if it's reporting. But I haven't had that happen to me yet.
Could it be maybe they both on the credit card account or
yes?
Right.
Is that?
Probably so. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so let's move down. File froze due to state legislation. I don't know if we need to cover that or not. That seems kind of
Well, those comments are really important, really, to tell you, because sometimes it would give us information, your personal information, statement like for file frozen. Like for instance, if you're having your Equifax, you know how you freeze your credit report, and sometimes when it doesn't pull the information through, and we go back and I go back and look at that note, then I know to contact my bar and say, look, go and unfreeze your credit report. So that those kind of statements are good.
Got you. Okay. Now we go on to the different information as far as creditors and everything. So here we got an account that's recent balance of 273. So is this revolving or
Yeah, it's a revolver. You see the terms over there to your left, kind of like the second. You'll see that the terms will show you revolving. I'm pointing at the screen.
Go to the go to the it's the second column at the bottom to type.
Revolving. Okay, okay. So what are some of the major considerations, Ashley? We'll start with you when you're looking at these accounts. Like what will you look at and what kind of advice would you give for something like this?
Okay, so for me, I'm looking for derogatories. I make it as simple and plain as possible because, again, a lot of the clients that I do work with, they don't even know how to read a credit report. They just know I tried to get a car and I have a high interest rate, or I couldn't even get a car. They couldn't even get a car. And most times you can just get a car from, just get a car. Anybody can get a car. They just have to pay high. But when you can't get one, that's like, okay, I got to fix my credit. Or you're ready to go buy a home and it's like, they tell me I'm not ready. I got to have this. I got to have that. So for me, all the rest of that don't matter. The main thing is, well, sort of, kind of. The main thing at this point is what needs to be disputed. And I go straight to whether or not they were ever late, if there's anything in collections, if there's anything charged off at all. And then, of course, I would go back then and I would, tell the client, hey, you need to get any credit cards, things like that, pay down to 10% or less. And then that's how it plays a role also when it comes to getting credit card, any type of funding, or even buying their home. Their debt to income ratio does have to be on point. But here, I automatically see this yellow. We want everything to be that pretty forest green there. And yes, so that's how, honestly, to a person, anybody watching, if you don't know how to read your credit report, if you do not see a forest green, and I think this is probably, I've seen a lot of platforms, and I believe the forest green is a go on the color on almost every one of them. No matter what you're using, when it comes to, your credit report. And if you see anything other than that forest green, a red, a orange, a yellow, you need to do something. It needs work. Okay. That's the best way to make it as plain and simple as possible. So they were late. I think that's probably 30 day late right there.
30 day late.
Yeah. And it's recent. So that looks even worse. It wasn't 2 years ago. It wasn't, a year ago, and now they've had good history. No, that was recent. So it makes it 10 times worse. Now you're trying to go get something, and the banks are going to look at you, whether it's a home loan bank, trying to lend you're trying to get, credit, to buy your home, whatever it's for. They're going to look at that and say, oh, that was recent. Do I really want to extend credit to them? Because they're not doing so well right now. Yeah. And they don't ask, sometimes they don't ask you, well, why were you late? They just go based off of your history. So
how easy is this to correct or remove?
It depends. It depends on the account as well. It depends on who the account is with. Some are tougher than others. But I will say this is pretty simple for the most part. It's only one. Sometimes, so for everyone that's also free game here, you can also do a good faith, basically, I've never been late. Is there any way you can remove this from my credit report? Something as simple as that, you can potentially get that removed. Now, if you've been late for the past 3 months, don't try this. You can try it.
So if they've been 3 months, what are you going to tell them, to wait a year and then come back and see you?
No, not me. No. You talking about me?
Well, if they're trying to clean their report up and there's some recent late payments.
So they can call the company that this particular account is with, and they can ask them if they can reverse it Some companies will reverse it if they see the history. This person has never been late. Something happened with my credit card. Someone stole my identity. You know, there was fraud on my credit card. I had to get everything switched over. That's the reason why the payment was late, but I've made nothing but on-time payments the entire time. You know, I'm pleading with you guys. Can you please get this switched? It's really hurting my credit. I'm telling you, you beg and plead with them. Sometimes you got to kiss them behind. It'll be okay. I promise you, especially when your credit score is going to go back up.
But what about for that? What about for that mortgage loan, Linus? Though, if they come in there and they got recent, late payments.
Well, if you have just like one account, just like for instance, if this is their portfolio and they only have one account that's late, it's not going to really stop you from purchasing if you have that credit score. Now, if you have multiple lates, especially over 60 days, then it can help. It's going to hurt you anyways because your credit score is going to drop tremendously and you may not have a qualifying credit score. So, but if you just have one late, even if it's recent, and you can maybe happen to write a letter of explanation on why it was that just one. And because if you just have one, yes, your credit score would have dropped, but you won't be at that minimum credit score, especially if your other accounts are in good standings. That's the point. You know, if you just have this one account out of all the accounts that's been late, they know there's something that happened to have that one account that's late, even if you just forgot about it because you had an illness. But it has to be you have to take a look at the whole entire piece of the puzzle, not just one account.
Okay. So actually, you're talking about that green forest right here. So this is
Yeah. Birds are singing in that forest.
That's what you want to see there.
Yeah, cool. Will, from your standpoint as a realtor, because I know sometimes you're kind of peek at the credit before you send them to a lender. What's been your experience in that area?
That's when I do my consultations. This is the first thing I want to look at because I like to do my lenders a favor. The loan liners can tell you this. When I send people their way, they're already vetted. I've already looked at their credit, and I want to make sure that they're good to go because that just makes the process more simplified. Because the loan officers they got a lot of loans, man. They looking at, and so if I can already go through this and comb through their credit and say, okay, look, you're good here, you're good here. I already know what the lender, the loan officers are going to be looking at, right? So I go through there, comb this out, and I say, okay, we're good to go. Let's go over here and let's see what you can get approved for.
And lenders like myself, we truly appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Man, let's go to the dreaded credit inquiries. So I'm out there. I'm just looking for somebody to give me a credit card, and I done applied at 6 different places.
Yeah.
What does that do?
It lowers your chances of approval.
Yeah. But if I got it, I'm good though, right? So how long? I guess my question is, how long would it negatively affect you?
Well, it stays on your credit for 2 years. So every bank is still different, and I feel like it's still up in the air. Some people say after 6 months, but I beg to differ that as well, because even with a 791 credit score, I got denied 9 points away from an 800 because I had 3 inquiries, just 3, and I got denied that's the only thing the letter said. 3 inquiries, too many inquiries, and all I had was 3. That was it, and they gave me my 4th one. So what I usually tell my clients, okay, so I'm an extremist, and I want to put every last one of my clients in the best, they're creating the best way possible. And then I want to be extreme with them so they understand the severity of how their credit truly affects their life, their loved ones, everybody, And so I'm extreme with my clients. I need them to know this. So I do tell them, if you have 0 inquiries, if the rest of your credit profile lines up, it puts you in a perfect position for an approval. Again, the rest of your credit got to line up. There's different components, history, and so much more that also plays a role in it. Utilization and things like that. But then also, if you have 1 to 2 inquiries, it puts you in a good position. If you have 3, you begin to look risky to the banks. If you have 5 or more, you look desperate for credit. Okay, so after that, it's pretty much a hit and miss. I've seen people get approved with 6 or 7, but it also can hurt your interest rates. So now you have higher interest rates as well, just because of your increase. Increase play a major role in credit, and a lot of people don't think they do. Now, I will say I removed 7 inquiries off of my credit. My score only went up 5 points. So it's like it goes down and it's hard to come up from that, but it makes a huge impact when you're talking about approvals. And that's the thing we want to focus on, kind of like the name and different things like that. You don't see a huge difference in the score, but it's not the score that matters in certain instances. It's the overall credit profile that truly matters. It's not just score. And I'm sorry, I just want to say this. I want people to quit worrying about that score. Worry about your overall credit profile. Quit worrying about the score at this point, especially, hold on, if you have derogatories, that needs to be your main focus first. Forget the score.
Yeah.
Because even if you have a 6, say you do have a 680, but for whatever reason, because I have seen it, in some people have a 680, but because they put a whole bunch of authorized users on there, and you can still have some toe-up credit. I have seen it. I have. And still get denied. Yeah. So fix your credit first.
So it seems kind of productive for me. It just don't make sense. Let me put it that way, because say if I'm out shopping for the best loan product, if I'm looking to buy a home, so it's going to be multiple inquiries, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, why would I be deemed because I want to look for the best loan product?
If you have multiple lenders that you're shopping around for a home loan, that's acknowledged, and your credit score will be reduced at first inquiry. It will be reduced 2 to 4 points. That's just how it is. But if you're shopping for a home and you're shopping different lenders, that's taken into consideration, and that second and third won't affect your credit score as long as you do it within a short window. Now, I've heard that some bureaus is 15 days, some is 30. I just always give 15 days. Do all your shopping within that 15 days so that it won't affect your credit score after that first inquiry. But one of the things that we look for, and I look for in a lot of inquiries, is what those inquiries are. Are you all credit cards that you're trying to get approved for so you can live off of? You look at those. And when you're shopping for a car, you can let the finance manager know, look, don't pull my credit for all these different kind of these banks trying to get me approved. I don't want that. You can let them know, hey, I want you to do 2 or just try Toyota, and that's all I want, because they do affect your credit score at least 10%.
Yeah. Hey, Superman, can I bring my own credit report?
The one you didn't doctor up?
Hey man, hey, long as it's legit. I ain't but you know, I want to add to what the loan liners was saying. Like a lot of people don't know too. Like when you go shopping for like an auto loan per se, if they do run your credit, all you have to do is call the bureaus and let them know that you didn't authorize them to run your credit, and they will remove those.
See, that's good information to know. Yeah, okay.
They will remove those. So everybody remember that when you go to these car lots and they run your credit through all of these banks and stuff like that, you can call these credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, and let them know, look, I did not authorize them to run this. I don't know why they ran, and they will remove that stuff. Mm-hmm. Just call them and tell them you didn't authorize it.
That's a reminder why it's good to use the experts, because that's not common knowledge out there. Mm-hmm. So, and it's good. That's good. Yeah. So there's just some other stuff about know your rights and all that. So I think that was a good segment. We'll end it and go to some other discussions. But before we move on, y'all want to share anything else about the credit report before we go to the next discussion? Anybody?
I let the ladies have it first, and then I come in after they, I get my spiel after them.
Just like Ashley said, just know what's on your credit report. And I think we said that over and over again, is just know what's on your credit report. Make sure, especially when it comes to lending, that you take care of, especially if you have student loans. I know I keep on talking about student loans, but they can hurt you, especially when those student loans are in default, or what we call collections. And this can stop you from purchasing a home, especially if you're getting another federal debt because student loan is a federal debt unless you have a private, but most of the times those student loans, most of the time it's Fed loans that you have. It can stop you from purchasing. And just because it may be not on your credit report, I know someone will say, well, it didn't show up on my credit report, but trust me, it's going to get caught because Cavers is going to catch it. And that's a report that is ran or that's generated to catch any kind of federal debt that you may have. And so don't think you're going to get away with it if you're not paying your student loan debt, because it's easier to get on an IDR or IBR, which is an income-based repayment plan, and have your payment reduced instead of letting it go into default. So that's been my biggest and most hurdle. It's just student loan debt when it comes to your credit report.
Hey, speaking of student loans, Joe Biden said he's going to wipe those out, so he needs to.
Yeah. Somebody said they were waiting. They didn't pay their student loan debt.
Yeah.
Biden was going. Yeah. Biden, did you just say that, Ashley? Was that true? Because they're waiting on Biden and they didn't pay their student loan debt.
I don't know. I think I'll tell you.
I don't know if it was Ashley. Yeah, they said they weren't paying it because Biden said they was going to.
That was me telling you one of my homeboys said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Question: how reliable is Credit Karma?
Only for, and I'll let Ashley answer this, and then I'll piggyback, but only for your credit history, not for your credit score. But Ashley, you take over. That's your area of expertise.
Yeah, I was just about to say it works for what it needs to work for. Number one, it doesn't have all 3 credit bureaus, so red flag. It does not have Experian. But then also, just like the loan line is just said, it has your inquiries on there, your history. Yeah, it's reliable for what it needs to be reliable for. It has your Vantage scores as well. Yeah.
And they give you a whole bunch of loan
I
offers.
think anytime something is really reliable, you just gotta pay for it.
Yeah. MyFICO.com.
Yeah. Yeah. Good deal.
That's a good one too, MyFICOscore.com. But yes. I always like to say, you look at where this data is coming from. Who holds the data is the king. That's the bureaus, right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So I always like to point to, like, I have the monthly credit monitoring. I go straight from Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax because I know they holding my data. And if I know I have to go in and make any kind of changes or disputes, I'm gonna have to go through the bureaus to do that. So what good is it to not go through the ones that's holding your data?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Ashley can correct this. Now, I think, and Ashley, please help me, is that the data from Credit Karma still comes from the same bureau. It's just a scoring model. It's just how they score the data, and they're using the Vantage scores versus FICO scores, and it's a different scoring model. And so I think that's why, but I think it's still coming from the same source. Just how the data is computed is different. Am I right, Ashley?
That is correct. So I actually did a little research, and I actually researched that it actually comes from Experian, believe it or not.
Okay.
However, again, that's your Experian.com has FICO scores versus, the Credit Karma as the Vantage portion of it. But anytime someone is going to go look for a car, everyone, when they're really, they're not, they're pulling FICOs. There are several different scoring modules out there, hundreds actually, if you actually research it. Everyone doesn't pull all of those, but there are a lot. Like T. Will said, a good one is, straight from the bureaus, TransUnion.com, Experian.com, Equifax.com.
Right.
But then, like the loan line is said, MyFICO.com. I actually like that one as well. I have all of these plus a lot more too because I'm obsessed with credit, but that I pay for. But MyFICO.com, it actually shows you, like, for auto, it'll show you what your score is for auto. It'll show you what your mortgage score is. It'll show you all of this, and so it definitely does work. Just what you're willing to pay for, though.
Yeah,
that's true. That is true.
Hey, and I just want to throw the plug in for everybody to see. We got this phone number here, so this is something new that we want to throw into our discussions. We want the people to have an opportunity to call in with their questions. So call in. You don't have to give your name, social security number, address, and direction.
No, we want all that.
Yeah.
Well, I wish someone would call in right now and ask a question about anything credit related. You got us all online. We all know, something about credit. We've all been there through credit. I mean, I know we all can say we've had the ups and downs through credit. So, if y'all got any questions at all, now is the time to jump on that line 972-591-8032 and ask your questions.
And don't call here with no foolishness. You're
right. Don't call with all that noise now.
Hey, we're gonna so yeah, definitely call in. We got questions. We got the experts on here. So while we're waiting on that, let's address what we talked about earlier about the embarrassment that some people don't want to face. I know again, that was my story. We'll start with you, Linus. How do you deal with that, or have you had to deal with the embarrassment? And hold on. We got our first phone call. Hold on. So let me try this out here.
Okay.
Rhonda?
Yes?
Oh.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Oh, this is a little fancy right here. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi. This is Rhonda. How are you guys doing?
Oh, hey, Rhonda.
I have a question. Why is it that the credit scores are different between the different bureaus?
I have a point, but I'm gonna let Miss Ashley start because, like I said, she's the credit expert. So I'm gonna go with her first.
Okay, so everything doesn't report to all three bureaus.
That's what I was gonna say.
So, yeah, some things only report to just one, some report to two, or some will report to all three. So they can't give you credit. You see what I'm saying? For it reporting to another one, or even including the history in it, if it's not reporting to it.
Right. Right. And all creditors do not have to report. It's something they choose to do. So they don't have to report at all if they choose not to. And some don't. And some only report to one or two.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thanks for calling.
Yeah, that was a good question, Rhonda. That was a good question.
Thank you.
So I want to add something on that. Well, gripe. This is my gripe with that. It's crazy that they have all these requirements on what you have to be and do to get credit, but it seems like they're not even consistent on their end. I mean, am I gauging that right?
Yeah.
Well, they are the bureaus, man. They can kind of do it the way they want to do it, really. And if you go and I know this is kind of off subject here a little bit, but like if you compare personal to business credit don't even have to report. It's so crazy.
That's true.
That is so crazy on the business side, man. It is totally different from personal. And I didn't want, but I just, they can kind of do what they want to do with, we're at the mercy of them, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we have to play by their rules. But that's the thing about credit. Once you learn how to play the game of it, man, you can be dangerous with credit.
Yeah. So here's a comment right here. I noticed my score is lower on CK than other services such as my bank. So it can be confusing. What is CK?
Yeah, what is CK?
Credit Karma.
Oh, credit. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that.
Just stop looking at Credit Karma. Just stop it. Just stop it. If it's confusing, just stop it and look at the other platforms.
But the thing is, you can get a free credit report like once a year from
yes, freecreditreport.com.
Annualcreditreport.com.
Yes.
Annualcreditreport.com. Yeah.
So really, just Credit Karma is just another product out there to kind of lure people in for business products. Because I used Credit Karma before, and I remember some of the things they were offering, like, hey, here's a $30,000 loan to pay off all your.
You're pre-approved.
Yeah.
And then you get denied.
Yeah. And then you have an inquiry on your credit report.
Yes. Don't get suckered in. in. Do not get suckered in, you
Because they
guys.
say, yeah, you got a 90% chance of getting approved for all this, and it don't mean nothing, huh?
Nope. Stay away. Run, as they
Yeah.
say.
Right.
Run.
Yes.
They're just a third party agency, right? That's getting all this data from the bureaus. So
Absolutely.
it's like they're make whatever they you know throw to you or try to get you to do. Like I've had clients to say, "Oh, I was on Credit Karma. They said I could apply for this card." I'm like, "Don't," but they done
No.
already did it, and I'm like, "You done got that in." I said, "They'll throw that stuff at you because
Issue.
that's what I mean. When you don't know, you just don't know. So that's why it's very beneficial to get around people that know about credit and how to run it, because you can learn what to do and what not to do with it.
Yeah. So we got a few more minutes. So if anybody have any more questions that they want to call in, please do. That was fun. I want to try it again.
Oh yeah, man. We need another call. Somebody call in and ask a good question, because that was a good question. Actually,
That was a really good
in.
question. But while
Yeah.
we're waiting for someone to call in for a question, I wanted to tell you about something exciting that has changed in the lending for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Now they're combining a 2 applicant credit score. Now this is exciting because I've seen it so many times when there is a husband and a wife, a joint applicant. One is a husband or wife or whatever you may want to call, and one has a high credit score, mid credit score, one have a low. Now they're combining those 2 credit scores and averaging them. For instance, one have a 640, one have a 600, and we can get to a 620 for conventional financing. Then you can get approved by combining those, and that's a game changer, especially in this industry with conventional financing being at the top of the list when it comes to sellers choosing which contract they want. So that's exciting because that hasn't happened before, where they're usually whoever had the lower credit score, that was a qualified credit score. Now you have a chance of being qualified if you can combine those 2 scores and have an average.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is major then, because
It's major.
it's just like I just ran into that with. I had a client that they were applying, but I think the wife, they wanted to use just the husband's credit score, and I said, well, Texas is one of those states where you gotta, your spouse got to be included. She can't be out the loan. And that's another misconception that people get. Like, can I just apply on my? Well, if you're married, you can't.
Well, let me clarify that. On conventional financing, you can. It's only on government loans that you cannot. Either the spouse debt has to be added, or they have to be added to the loan. Just say, for instance, they have a non-qualifying credit score.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they have a non-qualifying credit score, then we'll have to add that debt, and that first spouse, have to be able to sustain the debt to income ratio off of their income. That means we got to, because in a community state like Texas, what's his is hers, and what's hers is his. But in conventional financing, because it's not a government, as long as they have that, one person have that qualifying credit score.
Yeah. So let's talk, real quick, just if you could expound on carrying the debt. So both spouses don't have to be on the loan,
right?
But the debt
has to be added to determine the debt to income ratio based on that one spouse income.
So the other one spouse is going to have some.
They got to have some money. Yeah, got to have some money. Yeah.
Okay.
That's only for FHA, VA, and USDA.
USDA. Wow. That's good info. Okay. But shoot, man, this been
Ms. Rhonda, you just taught me something.
Oh, yes, like to say yes, sir.
You just taught me something about that, because I heard that was all across the board.
Yeah, conventional, no. That's not.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what? I guess the problem people have with conventional, because they got to come with so much more down.
And not only that, conventional is a harder loan to get approved.
It is.
You have to have
your stuff got to be tight.
You got to, no prior collections, and if you have one, it better be one. And let's not even talk about charge-offs. I don't care if it was 5 years ago. You better not have a charge-off. So conventional is a very tough loan to get if you have any derogatory credit or late payments.
But you know what, Ms. Rhonda, I try to preach this to my clients about, you know what, you, even though it's one of the hardest loans, you want to be in a conventional loan.
Oh, yeah.
Because that, if you're not doing anything outside of like a VA or I don't know, does, because the USDA doesn't carry any PMI, does it? You don't.
No, USDA doesn't. I don't
Okay.
think.
So that's why if you're not going to VA or USDA or something like that, conventional loan is the way to go, because you know, what's the least amount percentage wise? Because I know 5, but somebody was telling me like they have like a conventional that was like a 3.5%. Is that true? Ms. Rhonda?
I think
Is she
she
freezing?
froze.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I thought she was getting sleepy over there. Okay.
I thought she was looking
So
at
we'll let her dial in. So here's a question. If the spouse is not on the loan, but on a deed, and the house goes into foreclosure and foreclosed on, does it affect both spouses' credit? Oh man, that's good.
Long as they on now, that's a tricky one right there, because if you usually on the deed, you're on the loan.
Oh, that was kind of funny. Did we all freeze, or was it just me?
It was just you.
you.
So
was
this
just
really
me?
goes, yeah, this really goes back to the question I just asked for clarity on. So we'll let all y'all take a stab at this one. But if both people are not on the loan, but both of them are on the deed, and the house get foreclosed on, who does it affect? Does it affect both people, or only the person who is on that loan?
For mine, and I may need clarification on this because I'm not the title expert, but it's the person who's financially responsible for the home, which is be the one that's on the application, the home loan, so that one person, because they're only being added to title.
Yeah, which is not the financial responsibility.
Right, exactly.
For the
Exactly.
home. That's a good question. So
Yeah.
it can get kind of tricky for those community property states, you know. But
Don't move to Texas. No, just kidding.
Right. The only reason I know that is because I had a USDA. We had USDA, but I'm the credit goddess now, but at the time I was not. And I was only on the deed. He had the money, and and everything. And so yeah, it was another question that he asked as well, but or we were talking about it just a few moments ago. But yeah, you don't. It didn't affect me any. They didn't pull my credit, didn't do anything with me.
Oh yeah.
I just signed one piece of paper, y'all. I just signed my life away. It was kind of embarrassing. That was embarrassing. Like, can y'all?
yeah,
I want to sign some more. It's horrible.
I get it. I get it.
But I'm not financially responsible, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice part. So I'm happy I do get half. That's not the way to think, you guys. It's not the way to think, but
That's fun. So there was some more clarity on there. She said her friend's spouse is not on the loan, only the deed, because they were married when they bought the home.
Right.
So yeah, that's good information to consider. So
I wonder, if that was the case, I wonder, was that a conventional loan?
It probably was a conventional loan.
Because how did they get on they got on the deed but didn't get on the loan? You see what I'm saying? So it had to be something, the way they got on that loan.
Yeah, it was conventional loan.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
okay.
It was conventional loan, and added that title.
Okay.
Cool. Well, it's time for a prize giveaway. T. Will, that's the fun part of the show.
Yes, indeed. So we do. Hey, AG, we got some winners in the house, right?
Yeah, we do. The prize was an air fryer, and the second prize was a free credit consultation.
Yes.
So yeah, and the rules were share the show earlier and tune in and see if your name is going to be called. So we got a few people that did share the show, and so you want to talk us through that, T. Will? And
yes, indeed. So we have a winner here, and make sure you get in the inbox, give us your information so we can get you out your prize. The air fryer is gonna go to the first person who shared, which is Miss Doris.
Doris Ware, and she is a cousin, right? This family member right there, but I didn't do anything.
Hey, she did what we asked, so hey, it's only right.
Yes, exactly.
And she's one of our faithfuls, man. Doris is sharing every show, every post we make. So, man, I feel good that she's being rewarded right there. So, cuz if you're on the page, go ahead and there she goes. She says,
There she go.
Thank you.
so really,
Right on.
we telling her since she was first, she can pick the prize that she wants. So, do you
Okay.
want the air fryer or do you want the credit consultation? And we'll give her a minute to respond on that one.
I think I
Alright.
know which one she gonna pick.
Yeah, I know which one.
Which one you want? Which one you want, Doris? She's
Let's
thinking
see.
about it.
Yeah. It's a little delay. So yeah. And
But
while she
there
was
she goes. Look, I said it. Hey, say man, that air fryer is something serious though, man. And I mean, you're talking about, eating healthy a little bit. So, that air fryer is straight do it.
Man, I do some work on my air fryer.
I use mine all the time. But don't judge me because I use mine. No, but listen, that's why I said don't judge me. I have 2 dogs, which are my babies. Okay, I have grown kids, but my babies are my dogs, and I cook them a chicken in the air fryer, and I mix it with their dog food, and it's the best, juiciest chicken you ever want to taste.
Oh, I bet it is to them.
Yeah, and I mix it with their dog food. So yeah, so don't judge me.
That is
Hey,
so
you
good.
just take care of your
I
care of
take
your
care of my
kid. That's
babies.
it. That's it. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yep, no grease. It's healthy for them.
Yeah.
No seasoning. I don't put any season on it, so you don't have to worry about the seasoning. It's just good, juicy chicken.
Man, I get
Wow.
creative with mine. So, hey, Doris, this just make it official. If you can inbox the show, just telling us that you are the winner, and that way I have record on it, and I'll make sure I get that shipped out to you.
Right on. Thank you,
right.
Doris.
Yeah. So this next winner, who we got? T. Will.
We got the next winner is drum roll. Hey, the next one is Mr. Corey King.
Corey
Hey,
King. Corey
hey
King.
man, get with us, man. You got a credit consultation, man. I don't know your credit you might not even need it, but if you don't, you can pass to somebody else. But hey, man, we got you. We got you on the credit consultation. So make sure you get with us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, here it is, right here, making them hamburgers in the air fryer.
Yeah, I've done that too, and they were good. They were good.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta get my protein. So yeah, man. Hey, Corey King.
Yeah, Corey say right.
I need it for
Hey
sure.
man, hey Corey, that's man. Congratulations to you first of all, but this is one of the things that we say. We've all been through that journey where we needed help with our credit because man, this ain't something that we grew up around. We knew about this stuff, so when we came in contact with it, we just trying to spread the wealth and just help everybody else with theirs, man. But some people might not even need it, but for those who need it, man, this is what we're here for, man, to help people because this credit stuff is real, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just full disclosure, Corey is my cousin too.
Okay.
Oh, man, hey, that's all right. That's all right, man.
Hey, just let you know, I'm out here promoting hard, man.
Hey, there you go.
Sharing everything.
Well, thank you.
So,
Support.
yeah.
They supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. So
Appreciate the support, man.
Corey's getting married here soon. So
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations.
That means you need a home, Corey. Call me.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that's what he's been talking about. So yeah. So
hey, and is what Corey at? Is he in Dallas too?
he in Fort Worth. He's on.
Oh man, so you better call me too when you go get that house. I got you.
We got you.
I got you.
One stop shop. But you got
one stop, man.
You got the loan office and you got the agent.
Hey. And another thing we forgot to mention that when we talk about this credit stuff and we have consultations, you rest assured this is confidential information. It goes no further than you and the person you talk with about that credit. So a lot of people don't feel comfortable with talking about that because it is a touchy subject. But I can guarantee you that goes no further than to the person who you talk with about your situation. So everything is confidential. So
absolutely.
I told you I'm your lawyer. Okay. Yes.
Hey, so before we move to the wrap up section, we are. Hold on. Here we go. We got another comment.
Ooh.
Hey, I just want to make sure.
Venetia.
Oh, she says, oh, okay. This is one of my Facebook friends. She said, I will start sharing. Y'all popped up on my news feed. Glad I joined in. Helpful info. So appreciate
Great.
you joining in. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. I'll butcher it. But
Venetia.
Venetia.
that's what I was going to say. No, it's
Venetia.
Venetia.
Venetia Sherelle. Good deal. Good deal. So
Thank you,
thank you
Venetia, for
joining.
joining in.
And thank you, Corey and Doris, for participating and sharing the show.
Yes.
You know, we
Appreciate
always
it.
talk about getting the word out there. So it's one of those things, like T. Will said, we didn't grow up around with a lot of this information. I remember we was talking about the show, the long line that said that we were trying to come up with a name. And what we say, the things your mama and your daddy
Yeah,
did.
well, they tell you about credit.
Like that.
Exactly. Exactly. Because I can be transparent. I remember when I had my first credit card and shucks, I would pay that bill and so just enough to have me a little bit to put on the end. And I'd go back and just say, for instance, if I had $50 left, I'm going to find me something for 45. So, but I was young and dumb. And when I want to say dumb, I just didn't know no better. But when you know better, you do better. And that's what we're here for, because we're not exempt from being there.
That's
And,
right.
yeah, we're not exempt from being there. So.
Well, before we move to the wrap up section, we got to always let everybody share their information, because y'all offer great service, and y'all are passionate about what you do too. So I just want to give you a chance to plug yourself, and hopefully you can grab some clients. So we're going to start with you.
The Lone Lioness. Yes. Yeah. Once again, my name is Rhonda Hutchison. I am the Lone Lioness. I'm a residential mortgage lender, and I'm powered by Paramount Residential Mortgage Group. And just like Flex said, I'm very passionate about building generational wealth. I'm here to help you with all of your mortgage needs, from refinancing to purchasing to reno. You got it. You need it. I got it. So I'm very passionate about helping my community. So please reach out to me at 214-856-3747. That's 214-856-3747. You can send me a text, you can give me a call, and I will definitely respond to you.
And we're going to be sure to put this information on the post, so everybody will be able to reach out to you.
Sounds good.
And Miss Ash, it's on you.
Ashley.
Yes, I am Ashley Chalk, Ashley Hasworth on Facebook, and I am the Credit Goddess. I have prestigious Next Level Consulting, and I can be reached at, or you can email me at info@flawlessscores.com or prestigiousnlc.com. That's the way you can contact me.
Hey, get that credit right.
Oh,
right on.
I get credit, and from funding to you just maybe got questions about credit, or you may just need help to reach your credit. You can just call me, Ashley. How do I do this? People could call all the time. What do you think? I got you. Just call me. It actually is a pleasure when people reach out to me for my expertise. Thank you.
I'm calling you. I need my score to jump about 30 points in 30 days. So
all right.
Hey, I pay good too. So yeah. And Superman. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey. Hey man, y'all know me, man. I'm Terrence Williams. Like, I'm the Superman of real estate. Like, I do it all, like residential, commercial, land, what have it. I dibble and dabble in credit as well, have trade lines. That's another subject when we get our workshop going on, because that's something just to kind of help you, increase your credit score and stuff. But you got to be, committed and disciplined about it. But if you need anything real estate related, even if you have a question, just give me a call, man. Text or anything like that. My number is 903-705-3547. Also, my email is calltwilliams, info@calltwilliams.com. My website is www.calltwilliams.com. So everything is related to Call T. Williams.
Call me.
if you can't, all you gotta remember is just Call T. Williams and add the .com to it. So, but yeah, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and stuff like that. But if you need anything, any help, any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah.
And Tiffany, call me. Tiffany asks, I'm investor friendly. Yes, call me. As long as you don't have more than 10 properties, call me.
So what's that about? Why you saying not more than 10?
Because once you have 10, that's going more in the commercial side. I can do up until someone that has 10 properties, and it can't be more than 4 units.
Oh, okay. 10
Yeah,
individual properties.
Yeah, 10 investment properties. You can't have
Oh,
more
wow.
than 10
Oh,
investment
okay.
properties.
Oh, T. Will, you can't use her, brother.
No, I can't use just not. Yeah, he out of my league.
Hey, Kyle, I got you, Tiffany. Kyle, give me a
Call
shot.
T.
I got you. I can work you,
Yeah.
so I can get you
Good
what you
deal.
need.
Good
So,
deal. So, man, this has been fun, y'all. We're gonna wrap it up. So, first, we're gonna start with parting thoughts. You know, we gave a lot of information. Now it's time for y'all to give somebody some words of wisdom. We're gonna start with you, Lone Linus.
Only thing I can say is be prepared. Don't go into your mortgage lending being blind. Be prepared. Work on your credit. Work on your foundation. Make sure your employment history is good and tight. So that's my tip is just be prepared. Don't walk into purchasing a home blindly.
Okay, Miss Ash, it's on you.
I think I would add to that, don't procrastinate.
Good
Don't
one.
wait till the last minute. You know, look at your credit, definitely. There's a lot going on even since the pandemic started. People are still in identities out here. Look at your credit. Look at your credit. You gonna want to buy that house one day. You gonna want to buy that vehicle one day. If you got children, you want them to be. You know, we always say we want our kids to be better than this. So start somewhere. Start now. The time is now.
Amen.
Very good.
We will.
hey man, I just want to say, get get committed and disciplined about your credit. This is no one else's, but this is yours. Also, with everything increasing, inflation, man, is not decreasing. Everything is steady increasing. So with that in mind, you have to just you have to do your due diligence. Make sure whatever you get into, because it's a fast paced market right now. We used to have time to think about what we want to do. Man, those days are gone. Like now you have to be on it and you have to know what you want,
Mhm.
because the minute you sitting there thinking about it, somebody else already put an
Yeah.
offer in on it.
Mhm.
So and I'm not no pushy person. I don't like to push nobody to do nothing. But I say make sure when you get ready to do something, be ready to do it, because the minute you bag out of something, somebody else is already on it. So,
Yeah.
just get committed about, your situation, and take care of your business.
Yeah. And I'll just say real quick to piggyback off what Ashley said. Just imagine if you had started last year,
Oh,
Mm.
where you would
wow.
be this year. So don't let that be your story next year. And
Hey,
talk
what's
to me.
that? What's that little meme that y'all seen? That what was that? Fat Joe say, "Yesterday's prices are not today's prices."
Oh yeah. Yeah. Man,
Man,
what
that's true.
he was
That's true.
passionate too,
Man,
boy.
that's
Yeah.
true. That is really true, Doc. And I know
Yeah.
he probably was talking about something else, but I remember just seeing it. But man, everything is increasing, man. And like I telling clients last year, like they wanted to get in houses, and they was like, "Well, we gonna wait because everybody talking about this crash is coming." Hey man, I get what they saying, but I like to look at everything from a macro and a micro economic standpoint. So I look what affects us wholly up here, the nation, and then I look at locally. Man, if you look around the DFW, man, all you see is not hiring signs, when you look at these jobs. And so a lot of jobs are hiring and stuff like that. When you go into like crashes and stuff, that means like people are losing jobs. There's no money. With all this government printing all this money, man, this is going to kind of be here for a little bit. So, I
Yeah.
mean, just take that in consideration. Do your own homework. Don't listen to what people are saying and talking about this. Do your own due diligence. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
Do your due diligence, but make sure you know what you're researching because there's a
yeah,
bunch of trash out there.
it
Yeah.
is.
With that being said, go to the experts. We gave you all that information up here. We got the real estate agent, we got the loan officer, and we got the credit restoration specialist. So, hey, man, reach out. Man, I love what we're doing, man. I appreciate everybody's
Man.
time. Just a few things going on. Coach Cookie, man, she's always doing her thing down there in Resilient Studios in Texarkana. So reach
Shout
out to
out.
her, man, for all your health, fitness needs. She does meal plans, all those things, man. She makes it fun too. It's not just, hey, let's do some push-ups and sit-ups and run. She's dancing and yoga and a number of other things. So reach out to Coach Cookie, and you'll see her coming up on the Floor is Yours Love and Relationship show this coming Sunday. We got a couple hot topics. It's gonna be fun. So Looking forward for everybody to join the Love and Relationship Show this coming Sunday. T Will Show. We've been off for a few Wednesdays, but Educate and Motivate. Let me correct myself. That's back on this Wednesday, and it's going to continue next Wednesday. So, again, we're passionate about what we're doing. We're passionate about educating our people, and like Ashley said, this free game. Man, come get it, and try to grow yourself, be better, especially for if you got kids and family that are dependent on you. Corey, man, take advantage. You said you need to take advantage of this credit restoration services consultation, I should say. And man, get ready for your beautiful wife, man. She's depending on you. Doris, man, use the air fryer, and then invite me over when you cook something, right?
Invite you over, right?
Late night education picks up next Tuesday. It's gonna be we talk about dating and relationship type stuff, but it's more unscripted and more of an adult audience. So it's late night education. It's called that for a reason. We've got some good talent on there. And Ask the Professor. They alternate Tuesdays. Man, I had a dope show yesterday with Ask the Professor and Debbie J. If y'all missed it, man, please go back to our page and watch it. I promise you, you're gonna be entertained. We was talking about dealing with rejection, and we supposed to have another topic, but that was such a
didn't get to it.
We couldn't even get off it. So yeah, we got a lot going on. We got some up and coming shows too. So man, follow us. We're trying to provide something for everybody. We're dedicating our time. We're not getting on here just talking. We're trying to act like we know what we're talking about and bring some experts when we don't to fill in for my ignorance. Thank you, Long Linus, for joining this platform. Ashley, you're a wealth of knowledge. Thank you for everything. And T Will, man, you already know how I feel about you, brother. So yeah.
Superman.
Yeah.
Hey,
I have one question for Superman.
Go ahead.
What time our flight taking off?
Pretty soon here. It's coming pretty soon. But I just, man, Long line aside, man, y'all don't know this lady right here is one of the most hardest working ladies in the loan business, and she takes care of people, man. Like, so I just, if y'all got anything, y'all reach out to her, any loan questions or anything like that. But I also wanted to add and also Ashley, the credit goddess. She's just not the credit guru. She's the credit goddess. So remember that she has an extensive wealth of knowledge that she don't even she played this humble role, y'all. But I'm telling you, y'all hit up when you need to. But I also wanted to say though too, if y'all have anything that y'all think we should discuss, like on some of these educational shows, please send us a message. And let us know some of the things y'all would like to, for us to discuss or, bring to the education and motivational show. So,
yeah. All right. Ash, you want to close us out? Ash, you want to close out? Tell them where to follow us and all that? No.
Absolutely. I thought I was froze for a second there.
You was.
Yeah.
I think she froze.
Yeah. Oh no.
She go. She back.
Absolutely. Again, you guys, thank you guys for tuning in, for watching us. Thank you for allowing us to just educate and provide all this knowledge to y'all. Don't forget to like, share, invite, and subscribe again on our platforms. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
Yeah. Thank you all.
And we'll see y'all next Wednesday. And don't forget, every show that's up and coming, just keep checking back. We love you.
All right.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank y'all. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
Do it for you. Baby, don't forget the floor is yours. Yeah, baby, I'm on the floor is yours. If it come down to the floor is yours. Let me show you how I prove the floor is yours.